But can the U.S. pull out of this war? Can technically Trump just give the orders to Hegseth, we're gonna just pull out and forfeit? Anything is possible, right? But at the same time, America is seen as that hegemony country of the world, right? Like we're the top dog. We're policing people. We're policing countries. We have stations. We have military station pretty much in every continent. So we would lose that status, I'm pretty sure. Most likely China would take over if we were to forfeit. So again, I totally wish this war was over, but surrendering right now might make it difficult to maintain that status is all I'm saying, right? I don't want people to die. I hate the fact that people keep dying on the Iranian side, but also America's side. But again, I don't want a repeat of the Suez Canal when Britain lost their status as a hegemony country in the 1980s because of the whole Suez Canal and America pretty much teaming up against them. So I imagine China might do that in this case too. Worst comes to worst. So JD Vance, I believe, to try to conduct the peace negotiations, Iran requested JD Vance for whatever reason. Maybe it's because he was interested in peace negotiations and was not really for this war, but also he's probably easily manipulative, right? As you can tell, he's still Trump's right hand man at the end of the day, even though Trump has been calling him overweight. But he's definitely a perfect specimen, right? JD Vance went and attempted peace talks, but he came back looking like a sad puppy because nothing happened, guys. Surprise, surprise. He had to give Trump a call 12 times. He had to give Netanyahu a call once, right? That was all for nothing. I just have my gripes about JD Vance. Like, where did he come from, man? Like, I know he had this rags to riches story, but at the same time, it's just kind of weird that he hasn't been speaking out at all against what Trump is doing. And that's a lot of what the conservatives are doing, right? Like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? These people are speaking up against Trump, who used to be Trump supporters. Hey, going back to JD Vance, he has not said a thing that goes against Trump, right? Like he's all for Trump for whatever reason. I don't know why, guys. JD's backstory, he was a rags to riches type of person. He had a degree law in Yale, which I'm pretty sure Peter Thiel, who was the CEO of PayPal right at the time, was helping JD Vance out in the background. He was a big part of what JD Vance got to where he's at now. And remember, JD Vance used to be anti-Trump,
What?
guys. He used to speak out
Bro, what are
against
you
Trump.
talking
He
about,
used to
man?
be like, "Oh, like Trump is a horrible person. Like I can't imagine him being president, something along those lines." But all of a sudden, when they noticed, it was either 2016 when they started losing when the CEOs of the big tech companies also started changing their mind. That's also when JD started changing his mind, right? Because pretty much him and Peter Thiel were thinking, oh shit, like the Democrats are probably not gonna win, right? Either both in 2016 and then 2024. So they're like, you know what? We'll just jump on the MAGA train. They give no fucks about MAGA conservative values. You know how I know that? One, right? JD Vance is anti-war, anti-foreign interference, which doesn't make him Democrat, but at the same time, he's really just a grifter. But Peter Thiel, on the other hand, he's gay, right? Like I don't know if many people know this, but he has a husband and he has kids. He's also like really rich, and is a libertarian. He was the first one to endorse Trump actually in 2016 before Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, they all changed their mind too. Because remember, they used to hate him too. Ever since he won 2016, they wanted to get in his favor, and so that's what they did. They started just going along with the MAGA move. Do I actually think they believe in the ideals? No, like Do I think that they believe in domestic surveillance? I do think so because of Palantir, right? Like the company that's in charge of that, that wanted it, right? That requested that Pete Hegseth requested these AI companies to give them more leverage, allow more contracts with the military, between military and AI, right? But also increasing domestic surveillance of US citizens. In other news, guys, Pam Bondi was fired. I know this happened a while ago. Again, I missed a week, so I'm just gonna mention this part because I think it was crazy. I think there was a rumor out there she was fired because of her allegations with a Chinese spy or whatever. That was debunked, proven to be untrue. I personally think she was fired because of how she handled the Epstein files, right? When she was in court talking to the senators, and she was pretty much defending Trump by saying, even though the Epstein files are happening, even though the victims are where they're at right now, the Dow is up, NASDAQ is up, and S&P 500 is up, right? So our stock market is doing amazing under Trump. Maybe not our job market. That's a different story, guys. But our stock market is a totally different story. I'm glad she got fired, guys. To be honest, she was really begging for her job too. For that fallout. But just like what Trump does with his old toys, he throws them away after they lose usefulness, right? Like Mike Pence in 2016, Pam Bondi, Christy Nome, right? Great Bovino. He sounds like a pasta. But yeah, they were all thrown away, guys. What else is she gonna expect? And the next person, or the next two people, I would say, is Tulsi Gabbard and then Kash Patel. I think those two are gonna be dismissed as well pretty soon here. Then possibly JD Vance, but he does have a more permanent position considering he's vice president. Speaking of incompetent officials, Pete Hegseth, he's been having a lot of rumors that he's showing up to work drunk. There's some allegations of him, just allegations with women that he's had, and then just the Iranian intelligence playing 4D chess, releasing those Lego videos, guys. Those Lego videos, making rap songs about how he sucks, how he's an alcoholic and stuff like that, and how he treats women. They also made one about the Epstein files the other day, and Trump being mentioned in there. So yeah, they're going crazy, guys. They're going crazy. I think they were the ones that obviously they released that footage, right? If you remember of Kash Patel with in his cigar smoking days, and then his gooning account too. So I'm pretty sure they did that with Pete Hegseth, and then I think they also did it with Christy Noem's husband, as came out as cross dressing, right? So on a roll with all of that fun. Speaking of social media, we've had a lot of stir-ups in the Trump family. So Melania Trump, the other day, she was making a speech because everyone was talking about the Epstein files, right? She made a speech about how these accusations need to stop, these assault on her characters, because she claims that one, her first time meeting Epstein was with Trump, or maybe it was the other way around. But either way, she was never assaulted by Epstein. She was never a victim of Epstein. And then the third interesting thing that she said is that she wanted the victims to be able to testify, for Congress to allow the survivors of the Epstein to testify, right? That was interesting to me, because I thought she was just trying to cover her butt. I think it was a Brazilian woman, right, that got deported because her ex-boyfriend called ICE on her, right? And then the chick was pissed because I think she was close to Melania, a Brazilian chick, right? She was close to Melania and Trump. She was thrown under the bus too by the Trump family, because once ICE, deported her back to Brazil, then she made those crazy tweets about how, there's more to, Trump being in the Epstein files, and that she's going to release everything. But now they're deleted, right? Did Trump know about Melania doing this speech? There's rumors that he did know, but there's also rumors that he did not know. I'm thinking that he probably didn't know, considering that this was a surprise out of nowhere. No one was accusing Melania at least at this time of her relationship with Epstein. No one was talking about that. Everyone was talking about the Israel-Iran war. She was probably doing that to protect her butt before the tweets happened. But after that, Trump made some crazy tweets, right? So before the ceasefire, he was threatening to attack Iran's supply fields and their bridges. So that was pretty crazy, but it doesn't stop there, guys. His next tweet, I believe, was when he threatened to end their civilization. Maybe that's what led to the ceasefire. Maybe Trump was playing 4D chess with everybody. I'm pretty sure Iran kind of felt some type of way by hearing that threat. It sounds like a nuclear threat, to be honest. But so he made a tweet against Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Pope Leo, all these people. I mean, Pope Leo never actually supported him, so I don't know why I said him, but he did make a tweet against him. But it's just the difference is that Pope Leo was just never on his side, anyways. Maybe it was because he rejected JD's invitation to America's Sella anniversary. But either way, he made a tweet about them that he called them low IQ, third rate podcasts and stuff like that. If you guys follow my TikToks, I made a TikTok about how that would hurt. And then craziest thing is he also said that Candace Owens is uglier than Macron's wife.
Oh my
For whatever
God.
reason
Oh,
he thought he should
hell
bring up
no.
Macron's
Fuck
wife.
that.
So I wonder how Macron thinks about that, the prime minister of France. But speaking of international politics, there was a huge victory the other day in Hungary when right P. Magyar's victory over Viktor Orban is huge. Viktor Orban was an authoritarian in coordination with MAGA and in coordination with Putin in Russia. They were like pro-Russian, so he already was ruling for a term already, and then he was hoping to get reelected. Alas, that failed, and Magyar won. There was a huge celebration in Hungary, and everyone was happy. It was a win for Ukraine, a win for Democrats, even though Magyar is believed to be more moderate, right? Like he's not progressive, but he's definitely more on the middle, more in the centrals. If the other countries follow suit, let's hope that the other countries will either be more democratic or more moderate. But all I care about is that they're just anti Russia, anti Trump, right? Like I don't even care if they're Republican. But I do believe the world is getting tired of the MAGA movement. Again, I'm not saying conservative, but I mean the MAGA is the one representing conservatives right now. So they're making the Republicans look bad, and therefore the world is following the US opinion of them as well. So remember that too, guys. It's so funny how the tables have turned. This happened a while ago too, guys, but I just wanted to hear everyone's thoughts on it. Is that Trump was trying to attend a hearing at a Supreme Court and push his executive order to end birthright citizenship. Now, me personally, I have birthright citizenship. I was born here. My family immigrated from Vietnam, from the Vietnam War back in the day on the southern Vietnam when the U.S., similar in this case, right? U.S. fought a war it couldn't, lost many troops, and try to fight off communism. So that was their reason at the time, trying to fight the North Vietnamese, the Viet Cong, and then ultimately decided to pull out of the war because of that. Also, they did do a good thing in providing refugees and then bringing them back to America. So my family was a part of that act, right? So they're immigrants, and then I'm first generation, right? So hearing this threat to end birthright citizenship does scare me. It's not fun to hear, but at the same time, I'm glad that the Supreme Court, some of them appointed by Trump, still was able to hold their own, refer to the Constitution, pretty much laughed at him trying to strip the citizenship of over 200,000 American born babies a year. So he was left humiliated, even though he showed up in person for this. I don't know why he did that. That's the last time we'll hear about that, but I'm betting you guys he's gonna make some more threats or more comments about ending birthright citizenship. So just hold on for that, guys. Hold on to that. And that's all I want to say. But yeah, so just going back to the war, guys. Going back to the Iranian war. I just heard a lot of a lot of rumors that America's still bringing more aircraft carriers, bringing troops over to Iran. So I'm guessing they're gonna start deploying ground troops. I know I've said that so many times, guys,
Sure.
but I truly do believe this time will be different. I think they'll do it after maybe during the ceasefire if they keep attacking Hezbollah like this, right? It's kind of weird to me that America goes after these countries, right? Like these countries with no nukes. That's crazy to me, and then accuses them of having nukes. But how about North Korea? How about China? How about even Russia? During the Ukraine war, but I guess we're stopping funding for that. We're not supplying them with weapons, is what JD said. Why are we going after the weak countries? Like, it seems like we're really trying to bully people out here, Like, we try to pick on the weak people. Because, like, in psychology, when I work with people who are bullies, like, those are the people that are most insecure about themselves, right? Like, there's a kid that's bullying other kids for wearing, like, torn up Walmart clothes. Not saying Walmart clothes are bad, but I'm saying if a kid was making fun of them for that, they're probably insecure about something that's going on in their own household, right? Applying this to mental health works. Again, America is doing this. They're bullying this kid who is Iran, claiming they have nukes because of the Epstein files. The Epstein files, that's our insecurity. Not us, just the top people that are involved in there. Right? Like again, Trump's name was mentioned there 38,000 times, the most out of anyone in that. And then Epstein, remember, mentioned that Trump was a bad guy. And if Epstein was saying that, then I can't even imagine what type of person Trump is. Israel's not a good guy either. Like, let's just assume that if we're bringing it back to the bully analogy, that America and Israel are like the the jocks. I'm just gonna say jocks. I'm not saying all jocks are bad guys, but let's say they're the jocks in the high school, right? Like America is probably like the football player, and then maybe Israel is like um the basketball player or whatever. The basketball player that's in JV, that belongs in JV, but thinks he's in varsity. Well, America is a varsity football player, right? I believe they've been hiding their nuclear program. We don't even know. I mean, you can look up in Google and it says that they have like 30 to 70 nukes, but how do we know that's accurate? How do we know that they don't have more nukes? So it started in 1900s when France and them were testing it together, right? France. Apparently they were co-testing it, and then Israel hasn't signed the nuclear non-proliferation treaty either, which kind of just maintains the policy of, right, just where you at with the nukes, like how much do you have, and just checking in and retaining it. It's not a treaty to take away the nukes necessarily. It's just to keep them in check, give foreign international security the data it needs to evaluate where Israel is at with that. Though even America is doing that, Britain, UK is doing that, Japan is doing that. I think maybe even Russia is, because when I saw the reported numbers from Russia, like they had the most nukes. They had a shit ton of nukes, but at least they were accurate about it. But by not signing it, Israel admits that it does have nukes in some type of capacity, even though they keep saying that they don't have any. They want this ambiguity to keep people guessing, even during when these nuclear checks, right? They would try to hide these nukes, right? It's crazy to me. And then as soon as that happened, they also started giving nukes to South Africa. So they got the nukes, or they started testing nukes with France in the early 1900s. And then I think later in the second phase of this, I think it was later in the 1900s, they started giving nukes to Africa, South Africa. And since the JFK assassination, since him, I believe, and every president after that is different. Right? I can't say that every president was all pro-Israel because they had different amounts, but the most recent ones, which are Clinton, who was very pro-Israel, Bush, who was pro-Israel, Bush Jr., he's the one that initiated the war in 2003 with Iraq to overtake Saddam Hussein. Same thing, regime change, right? And then Obama, who's said he's looking out for Israel's interests, but I don't know if he actually did anything beyond that for Israel. And then obviously Trump got us into this war with Iran because of Israel, because of Israel's needs and wants. Hope you guys like the video, and then like us on all socials if you liked our content. As you guys can tell, I've been filming from my phone camera just because I used to film from my computer webcam, right? I just feel like the quality is like up and down for that. Right now, I'm just using the basic phone recorder to record this. Just let me know what you guys think. Appreciate it.